We're back.
We are back. How long has it been?
Before June, right?
Yeah.
That was the last time before that.
It was like in May. Whoops. Well, in our defense, we've been a little busy. We bought a house and we had to move and then...
Well, we got married.
Yeah, no, they knew that.
Yeah, but we got married. And then we bought a house.
And then
we got more busy.
And then we got really busy. You know, the move,
No, I meant
setting up.
we got really busy.
That's inappropriate.
Very. Come on, you can show them.
Okay. We've been busy. We are expecting a little boy in April. The whole filming and the reading and all of that has kind of gone to the wayside.
Because you couldn't read anyway.
Yeah.
Because she was getting nauseous just looking at anything that close up for that long.
And then it's just get in bed and get all cozy or get on the couch and start reading. And it was like, no, that first trimester, that was fun. Wasn't it fun?
Yes.
So, cheers, guys.
I decided to run the dishwasher right before filming this. Genius. Shows that we haven't done this in a while.
Also shows that my husband runs the dishwasher. He does a lot of the work around here.
I'm a stay-at-home dad to be.
You're not even. He's never home, poor guy. And when he gets home, he works so hard. I'm grateful.
Yeah. We had a goal. One of the last videos we did was stating our goals for this year. This is basically just a check-in to see how that's going, which I can tell you right now, it's not going well for either of us.
I do think he has managed to be a lot more involved in reading and staying up to date with what's out there, new releases and stuff like that. I've been on an island by myself. Like,
what was your goal?
My goal to read in 2024 was 35 books. I'm at 23. It's not bad. It's not terrible.
Yeah. I think I passed 35 books before we moved into the house. But honestly, once we actually did move in, between painting an entire house and moving in and all that stuff, yeah, reading just took it was such a big life change that like I was just trying to survive at that point. Like finding books to read and all that. I think halfway through the year, I kind of had a hard time finding books to read as well, which was kind of got in the way. So my goal was actually 75 books. And I think I'm at around 40 something.
I'm closer to my goal than you are to yours. So I think goal
was... I could have said that I was gonna read 20 books.
I think my goal was a little more realistic. I mean, I upped my goal by 5 books. I typically do that every year. So...
Okay, but here's the thing. So right now, the Winds of Truth just came out, which is, I believe, the 5th or 6th book in the Stormlight Archive series. It is 63 hours of listen. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm deciding to read that book as maybe the last book I read this year, I could have maybe gotten close to maybe 60 books.
Okay, so then why don't we do it by pages? Why don't we, in the next video, kind of recap how many pages?
Yeah, but I don't know what the equivalent of 75 books in pages it would be.
So you look up what is the average size of a book, right? It's probably like 400
in page
pages.
Count and or word count, really.
Right, so you do 400 times 75.
Right, there you go. That's how I would do it.
Pregnancy brain what? No, it's bad.
No, it's been
very
awful.
bad. It's been very bad. So last year I read 30 books. So that's kind of what kind of hurts me the most. Not necessarily that I'm not meeting my goal this year, just that I've read so much less than I read last year. Another thing that really sucks about not hitting these 2024 goals is that I didn't even read half the things I said I wanted to read. I said I wanted to get more into Brandon Sanderson. I did not read the Stormlight Archives.
You let me down again with that one.
I did.
You know what's funny? I bought her the first 3 books in the Stormlight Archive series, and I know that they're intimidating. I know that they're massive
and they're
books.
like the mass
She went behind my back. She went behind my back and bought another Brandon Sanderson book and decided to read that one. Out of all the books that you chose to get into Brandon Sanderson, you actually picked the only one that requires previous knowledge of all his other books to fully understand and like get the full experience of that book.
So what had happened was I see the book Tress of the Emerald Sea kind of trending. I think it's adorable. And then I noticed that the author is Brandon Sanderson, who you mentioned every 5 seconds, but I had never heard him mention Tress. So I go and buy it. I'm thinking I'll surprise him in one of our videos and we'll do an unboxing and he'll be like, oh my gosh, how cute. And then, you know, 7 months later, we found it when we were unboxing random boxes in our office upstairs, unpacking, and I was like, I've totally forgot I even bought this book. And then we both read it.
You also forgot that I bought you 3 other books.
No, it's just, they're the mass-produced paperback versions. They're so tiny and so big, it's gonna be really hard to read. Another thing I did not read, I did not start the Thrones Glass series by Sarah J. Maas.
Great. I mean, I feel like that's an achievement. That's a goal met.
I wanted to do a lot of fantasy this year and I didn't.
Oh, interesting.
We'll get into all the stuff we've read, best and worst of the years. We have a video coming up. We're gonna choose our top 5 best books of 2024. The 5 worst of the year, including some that I even completely forgot I read. I was looking through Goodreads and I'm like, what kind of fog was I in when I read that? This year has been an absolute whirlwind.
It's been a slog, but I actually feel that I'm gonna have a hard time picking my worst books for the year because I do feel like I've read, the majority of the books that I've read I've actually enjoyed on a certain level. At least there wasn't, going back in my head, there wasn't a lot of books that I can think of that I like hated or didn't like. There was a few that I didn't finish because I just didn't think that they were worth it, which will definitely be there.
I as well.
But I do feel like I met my goal of actually reading more books that I was interested in, and the only thing that got in my way of reading more of them is the fact that they're just very high in demand and it's hard to get them from the library app that I use. One of the best things about Brandon Sanderson is that not only do you like all his books, but he writes so fast that by the time you're done with one, he usually has one coming around the corner. You never feel that sinking feeling of like, I'll never have this again.
So what else do you think you're gonna be able to read this year? I
think most likely the only other book that I'm going to be able to finish reading is The Winds of Truth, the 5th, 6th book of the Stormlight Archive. It's 63 hours of listening, so realistically speaking, I can probably finish it quite quickly, but I think the fastest I could finish that book is maybe a week or 2 weeks.
That literally leads you right up to Christmas.
Yes. Usually I have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for the book because it's in such high demand. I literally think that I had a thought randomly. It's like, I'm gonna just look to see if the book is up there. I looked, it was there, it was available. I borrowed it, like I clicked it, like I was literally trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets. Like I'm like, click, 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 click,
I
click, click.
wish you would have actually tried to buy Taylor Swift tickets.
Actually, I did once and I got in. I was a verified fan. You were not a verified fan.
Yeah. Well,
I was a verified fan.
We don't talk about Ticketmaster in this space. This is a happy place. This is a sacred place. We don't talk about Ticketmaster.
Anyway.
So I'm at 23 books. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get to a nice even 25. Not that 25 is even, you know what I mean. A nice round 25. I literally just finished reading Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World, which I absolutely adored. This is like the first book in months that I've been able to get through in like 3 days. And now I'm, just based on how quickly I read this one, I think I'm gonna be able to read the second one very, very quickly, probably by the end of this week even. And then that still gives me plenty of time to add one more book, which I do want to read one day in December. I can't remember the name of the author. We'll put it right here. That's going to be my Christmas read for this year. And then maybe because we're going on vacation right after Christmas and we're going to be gone all the way through the new year, I might be able to even fit. So I will for sure read 25 books this year, potentially one bonus one when we get to vacation, because as of today it's December 10th, so I think I can get
quick challenge. Mention 5 other books that have a cover just like this. Go.
Anything by Emily Henry. So that's what I want to read for the rest of the year. I'm really excited. I always like to, during Christmas time, read a very like a holiday Christmassy themed romance because it's cute and it's in season. I read in a Holidaze 2022 and that was such a great read. If anyone's looking for a nice holiday recommendation for this year, In a Holidaze by Christina Loren is fantastic. Last year I read The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews and that book was god awful. Holidaze. So I did a little more research this year, and one day in December seems to be like, it's gonna be great. So I'm excited to cuddle up by our Christmas tree and read that this year.
Out of the 25 books that you read, do you feel like there was really good books there? Like, do you feel like it was 25 really good books, or do you feel kind of let down because you only read 25 books and it wasn't enough to find some amazing books?
I think the main reason why I did not read as much this year is because I struggled to find things that I like. There's like 3 books that will be included in our worst of 2024 video that took me just so long to read, that really just put me in a reading slump, and time just dragged on, and the weeks were just going by and I wasn't doing any reading because I was highly avoiding a few books this year.
Maybe read less books that look like this.
Well, that's been my favorite one. There were a few hits this year. In general, how I felt about this reading year, non-eventful. You know, if I was only gonna read a few, I would have loved that the quality of those books, you know, counteracted the quantity that I read. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. It was a mixed bag this year. There were some 5 stars, we'll get to those, and there were actually a lot of 2 stars and some DNFs. So,
you know what?
Not a great reading year.
You know what would have fixed that?
What?
Brandon Sanderson. I bought you those books. I bought you.
You're not allowed to be mad at me at all this year. You're just not. You're just not allowed to be mad at your pregnant wife for anything, ever.
I have a feeling that that kid's gonna read Brandon Sanderson before you do.
Honestly,
don't make it a thing. Don't make it a thing.
Considering he's gonna be our kid, probably. I could see that. What are you reading right now?
Bad Monkey by Carl Hiassen. They actually made an Apple Plus TV series with guy from Wedding Crashers. Tall guy.
Owen Wilson?
No,
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Okay, I hear that the series is not that great, but the book was just so freaking funny. Funny
Is
in
it
like
funny so
funny
far?
like in a dark way. Funny as in like, yeah, some of the things are kind of disgusting, but it's witty and it moves super quick. And you know how sometimes a book will present a character and then go off on a tangent to describe the character's backstory. So this book will do that, but every single character has such a crazy, just insane backstory that only takes about 1 or 2 paragraphs to say, but it completely encapsulates that character. You totally understand that character. That character just fits in with the other motley crew of characters that are coming up on the book. So if I had to describe this series, it's basically a detective in the Florida Keys, and it's basically, imagine a buddy cop movie mixed with Florida Man. Every single character, either woman or man, that comes out in these books is a Florida man. It's really funny. It almost feels like an HBO show. It moves super quick, and the main character is both kind of hilarious, a little bit crazy, a little bit incompetent, but also very good, and will constantly surprise you by his ability to get out of binds. He's actually not a bad cop at all. He's actually a very good cop and detective. He just makes really stupid personal choices about his personal life that get him into messes. For example, one of the funniest through lines of the entire book that is almost, for the most part, a side plot to what's going on, that is basically just reintroducing comedy into the series, is the fact that he lives in the Florida Keys and the lot next door to him constantly is under siege by developers that are trying to make a mega mansion that is going to block his view of the sunset. So he is in a constant ploy to sabotage the development.
Like I said, I just finished reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I'm now going to start tonight Yours Truly, which is the second part to the series. It's not an exact continuation of the story, but it's all within the same universe, and this one, the main character here, was the best friend of the main character in the first one. So I'm truly liking Abby Jimenez's writing. I actually read Guy a few pieces of Yours Truly last night, and he actually even laughed out loud. Great sense of humor, loving the writing style, and it was very relatable, and it was, cute, very cheesy ending. I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video, but Abby Jimenez, If I do like the second one, it might be a contender for best new author of the year that I've discovered. So I'm glad. Hopefully that means that I'll be finishing off 2024 with a few hits under my belt, which would really help me feel like I've redeemed my reading year.
Like you still read? Make you feel like you're still a person that reads books?
And enjoys it.
You could have listened to books all year. They wouldn't have made you dizzy.
I listened a lot to Tress. Tress I mainly listened to.
Such an odd pick to get into his world.
I didn't even know it was a Brandon Sanderson until like I actually paid a little more attention. I hear about Tress and the Emerald Sea, but I haven't heard anything about A Stormlight Archive in BookTube and Bookstagram world. But Tress and the Emerald Sea have been everywhere. I thought it was a one-off little fairy tale. I didn't think you needed to know the lore of Brandon Sanderson.
You didn't, but there's just a callback. There's basically a callback to pretty much every single other series that he's written in that book.
I think we're gonna do a deep dive on that novel and a whole video dedicated to it. So stay tuned for that. What is his universe called?
Oh, the Cosmere?
A whole video dedicated to the Cosmere at some point very, very down the line. We'll see how much reading we get through from here till April, because once this little guy comes out,
I think I'll be listening to a lot.
I don't know.
What else are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit on that couch with the baby on top of you and just kind of staring off into space.
Oh, you're gonna get burned in those comments. Parents, comment, tell him how wrong he is. He has no idea what's coming to him.
I mean, don't you do a lot of that? Just sit with the baby waiting for him or her to go to sleep? And you're just doing this, staring off into space like a
I guess if you're listening, but you also want to pay attention to the baby, not have your headphones in and completely blocking out the sound of the child.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. So I'll be like...
One AirPod in. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was a quick little recap where we've been. Wanted to catch up with you guys, let you know where we are in our reading goals and what our plans are for the rest of the year, which only has like 20 more days.
Enough for Winds of Truth.
If you're new here, I'm Allie.
I'm Guillermo.
And this was Book Date. See you on the next one.
She still won't read Brandon Sanderson by then.
No, I won't.